As I was doing my test yesterday, I realized when I was editing that I didn't shoot anything in 1080p. So I'm gonna shoot in 1080p because I believe that shooting in 1080p is gonna give us a different outcome with the stabilization in the camera. Now, right now I'm using the Sigma 16mm 1.4, which has no stabilization in it. I'm not gonna be using any stabilization inside of the camera, so steady shot is off. One thing as well is, if you're going to be using this as a vlog camera, typically we want to follow the 180-degree shutter rule, which is whatever your frames per second is. So if you're shooting in 24 frames per second, you want to double that in shutter speed. So if you're shooting at 24 frames per second, typically you would shoot 48. But in this case, since this camera doesn't do 48, you do 50. So that's the case most of the time with cameras. But with Catalyst browse, in order to get smooth footage, you want to shoot at 1/200th of a second with your shutter speed. Everything else can be whatever you need it to be to get your exposure correct. Now, keep in mind that as you push up your shutter speed, you're going to need to let in more light, which is why I recommend the Sigma 16mm 1.4, because that 1.4 is going to allow you to get more light in the camera. So what I'm going to do now is just walk. I will say that I'm walking in the grass. Walking in the grass, for some reason, it gives me a lot more shaky footage. I don't know if it's because my foot is trying to balance, but I noticed that when I walk in concrete, things are a lot smoother. So this is putting it through its paces, and we're gonna see what it's really like. So let's go ahead and walk. And again, I'm gonna take the same footage, and we're gonna look at it side by side, what you're seeing now and in Catalyst browse at the same time. So we're gonna go forward. I don't know why, but I'm gonna walk backwards too, because maybe you'll do this. I'm gonna switch hands. That was really bumpy what I just did there, so we'll see what Catalyst browse is able to do with that.